did all the cash come from? That's the question the jury in the Kilpatrick corruption trial case has to weigh as federal prosecutors detail alleged tax violations for Detroit's former mayor. 7 Action News investigator Heather Catallo joins us now. Heather, how much money are we talking about here?
Quite a bit, Joanne. The IRS agent on the stand today told the jury that Kwame Kilpatrick was living beyond his means, and not by just a little bit, by more than $840,000.
How much cash did Detroit's former mayor have stashed, and where did it come from? IRS agent Ron Sauer spent hours on the witness stand in the Kilpatrick corruption trial, showing the jury records that detailed Kwame Kilpatrick's cash deposits and other transactions from his time in office. According to Agent Sauer, between 2002 and 2008, Kilpatrick took home more than $605,000. Sauer then showed the jury that Kilpatrick's expenditures in that 6-year time frame totaled more than $1.4 million and said Kwame Kilpatrick was living beyond his means.
It's not our obligation, nor do we have any duty to explain the cash. The government has to prove that there was, in fact, something illegal going on.
Kilpatrick's lawyer Jim Thomas says the jury must wait until he finishes his cross-examination to hear the whole story. But already, Thomas has shown them thousands of dollars in checks that he says are from a birthday party Kilpatrick had at the Athenaeum Hotel. Thomas says partygoers gave the former mayor cash and checks as non-taxable gifts.
As it has been with all these witnesses, when you just listen to the direct, then you only have one point of view. You have to hear the whole thing.
Meanwhile, the jury heard more from the feds on their allegation Bernard Kilpatrick tried to get his client, Capital Waste Management, work at the Book Cadillac project. Federal prosecutors allege Bernard wanted to mess with Jenkins Construction, which was working on the hotel rehabilitation. Today, his lawyer John Shea got FBI agent Bob Beckman to admit there was no evidence Bernard Kilpatrick ever filed a formal complaint with any agency about Jenkins, and no evidence that any actions were taken against Jenkins. Shea says Kilpatrick was just doing his job as a consultant.
You're doing work for a client, and your client complains that they're not being treated fairly with respect to a certain aspect of the city contracting process, and the consultant's job is to go out there and try to advocate for the client's interests when those complaints arise.
As for the tax case against Kwame Kilpatrick, Jim Thomas says he has several more hours of cross-examination to do with the IRS agent tomorrow. But we are finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel in this case. Several sources are telling me that the feds should be resting their case early next week. Joanne and Jeff.